Welcome back to my channel, Erin's World. I am back with episode 2. Episodio número 2. Okay, so we are back with episode number 2 of my indoor houseplant series called Botanical Bliss. And I'm keeping that name, as I said. So the first one, last episode we talked about a Monstera Deliciosa. This time we're talking about the corn plant. This is my second largest plant. It's a little bigger than the Monstera from episode 1, but it is pretty tall. So there is already a new leaf growing from the very top. At the end, of course, you will see the full plant in its entirety. It is on a little bit of a, what do they call that? It is propped up a little bit by a little mini stool or whatever, but it is really tall. Sometimes it can get heavy with this, and I'm not sure if there is a strong enough stake. But it's growing, it's flourishing, and I've had this plant for a long time. So first things first, let's talk about care, right? Let's discuss the care for this plant. This plant is super easy to take care of. Very similar to the Monstera Deliciosa. You can literally walk away, see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil, and it will still grow. There's been plenty of times where I forgot to water it, and honestly, sometimes you can kind of see the soil like really dry, and it's still fine. Again, very similar to the philodendron, the Monstera Deliciosa. It'll just get all sleepy, the leaves will look very droopy, but for the most part, this is also the second plant in this series that is the easiest to take care of. Right now I have it in my living room, so we're no longer in my bedroom. I have it in my living room, and it only requires, I would say that this is also considered a low light plant. So it does require bright indirect light, even if it's low indirect light. But of course, the more light, the better. Of course, nothing directly because you don't want to burn its leaves. But for the most part, I would say bright indirect light. I have it catty cornered by 2 windows, where it is a west facing window and a northeast facing window. So it does get quite a bit of sun. Now, let's talk about the watering here. Like I already told you, with watering, you can, I would say, just wait until the soil is almost about 75% dry. A trick that I have learned with having all these plants is you take your index finger and you just stick it in about an inch into the soil. And if it is still pretty dry and like the soil is not really sticking to your fingers, go ahead and give it a watering. If you remember from my first video, a thorough watering. Don't just boop, 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 and then think you're all good and you're fine and whatnot. Absolutely not. You definitely want to give it a thorough watering so it can reach all the leaves that are higher up. Okay. Now, since if you can't see, my dog is already right here. She just follows me wherever I go. Is it toxic to animals? Again, I'm not entirely sure about that because I had all these plants before I got my dog. And so I already had like a little plant nursery growing in my home before I got her. So therefore, I'm not exactly sure, but she typically, again, like she doesn't bother it. I'm trying to find another plant where I would see like, my ZZ plant. My ZZ plant, she was like little teeth marks because she would, but again, she wouldn't eat it, but she would just chomp on it for a little bit. But I think, again, it was in her way of her looking out the window. So again, do I think this is toxic to plants? Again, I just say at the end of the day, do your own research if certain plants are toxic to animals. You can still have toxic plants that are, you can still have like plants that I guess would be considered toxic to your pets. However, if your plant is a chill, not your plant, if your pet is a chill pet like mine, she really doesn't care about all of these plants around here, for real, for real. Unless they're in her way, then maybe that's when she might try to cause some problems. But for the most part, she doesn't care. So I haven't had a problem with her trying to bite this plant at all. Recap, okay? Quick little recap, because this video is going to be a little shorter, but a quick little recap is sunlight. Again, bright indirect light is great. Watering, again, water it when the soil is pretty dry. This plant is too big for me to pick up, so you know, sometimes you can tell when plants really need water when you pick them up and they're pretty light. They're really, really, really light. Excuse me. So that's how you really, really know. But if you have a plant that is pretty big, like this one, I'm not picking that up. I'm sorry. Like, I'm really just not picking up this plant. It's too heavy. How tall can these grow? I don't know. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I don't even know, but I'm thinking about, you know, the state that I live in. It's a lot of cornfields, and so it's not gonna bear like actual corn, you know what I mean? But like corn plants are really tall. They're like 6 feet, 7 feet tall. And this one, I'm only 5'3", 5'4" on a good day. And it surpassed me. Like, I don't know if this is out of frame, but it has definitely surpassed me for sure. And it will continue to grow. Will I repot this? Sometimes. I feel like when a plant gets this big, I'm not repotting it. You know, this is a 2-people job to take it all out, have somebody to hold it up, put the soil in there. It's a lot. So will I change it from the pot that it's in? Again, I will record showing you the whole plant. Probably not. But this is how it's gonna be. At the bottom, again, I'll show you the footage. At the bottom, it has some more leaves growing. And hopefully it'll just even itself out, because this right here, ay, mi madre. The alto is just so tall. What are some issues that I've had with this plant that is super fast growing? I wouldn't say that's an issue, but I would say that that is something that I did not take into account, because it just grows so fast. And how often do I fertilize this? Very similar to the philodendron in episode 1. More so fertilize it in the warmer months, in the growing season, basically. So spring is around the corner, but during the growing season, that's when you really want to fertilize it. I do have those dehydrated eggshells that I ground up into a dust, into a powder. So soon I will be fertilizing it. But again, once it grows out of that corner, I mean, I don't know what I'm going to do, to be honest with you. I really don't know what I'm going to do with it. But it takes the same fertilizer. Have I had any pests or anything? Certain plants, like, so my next video in episode 3, I will show you my favorite plants. And I believe in that one, well, I have quite a few favorite plants, but some of my plants that are my favorite ones that are like caletheas or the prayer plants. So they call it a prayer plant. So when the sun is gone, the leaves are up. And then when the sun is out, the leaves are down. So prayer, you know? Those are my favorite because they're the most variegated, but those are also my favorite. But they are so prone to like pests, like mealybugs, scale sometimes. I do have one of my favorite plants that do have scale, and it's crazy. They did. They don't have it anymore, but they did. But if, just because I haven't had any issues with pests with this plant, with my corn plant, just because I haven't had any issues with that, that doesn't mean that you might not have any. If you do, I would say neem oil. Neem oil. You can get that from Lowe's, Home Depot, any plant nursery around. So I always like to spray neem oil. Like I literally have like a gallon of neem oil right by this plant. And I just go around and I spray it. Let me show you. It's a little dirty right now. Don't mind the dirt. But this is the neem oil that I have. I used to always get the smaller bottles of neem oil. I don't know why. Like, I was just so delusional, so delulu. But I got the bigger bottle because I have all these plants. Like, I have almost 30 plus plants in this household. And I don't even feel like that's a lot. You don't think that's a lot? I don't think that's a lot. But literally, you just shake it up. Then you take the nozzle and first you spray the soil. Then sometimes you could spray the leaves if you want to, but neem oil does not smell the best. I'm not even gonna lie to you guys. Neem oil stinks. It does. So you definitely want to have the windows open. So if you are, like I said, if you are having a problem with pests, even on the Monstera philodendron, even though I said that the Monstera deliciosa is one of the easiest plants, sometimes I can get pests. You know, my home is different from your home, so it might be different. Get your neem oil. You decide to get a corn plant and you're getting some pests, neem oil. I saw this one video on TikTok where in a pothos plant, which I have a pothos plant that is kind of standing up, or that is, I'm trying to make it grow on my ceiling. So this is a pothos plant. She had ants just crawling up everywhere. Oh my God. She had ants everywhere in the plant. Why were they there? No sé. I don't know. But what she get? Neem oil. Honestly, any form, not any form, but like there's a lot of different brands of neem oil. I'm not married to any particular one. I'm not gonna lie, I am married to one, Captain Jack. I am married to that one. That's the neem oil that I have. But yeah, so if you're ever having problems with pests, put that neem oil in there. And also something that I did not talk about with the Monstera deliciosa, but also just in general with plants that have like really big leaves, they do benefit from having a cloth wiped with wiping the leaves. So you could take a cloth or a paper towel and spray some neem oil in it. Maybe spray some neem oil, some rubbing alcohol, and wipe the plants down, because when it is kind of a little bit dusty, I'm not even gonna lie to you, if you can see that this is a bit dusty. When the plant is just a little dusty or whatnot, the dust acts like a film as a barrier to prevent the sun from truly penetrating the leaves. And that's what you want, because it's the sun that really takes care of it. Does it look like I need to wipe my plant? Yeah. Am I going to do it? No, I'm not. I'm really not going to do that right now. But that would have to be something a little later that I will have to do. But again, welcome to my series of Botanical Bliss, where I am all about plants. This series. So, comment, like, subscribe. Again, whatever you're comfortable with. I'm just here to romanticize my life and just show things that make me happy and just romanticizing my life, you know? So therefore, thanks for watching and you have a great day. So this is the stool, I guess, that it's sitting on. And here we go with the bottom half of the plant of this beautiful corn plant. And it is top heavy, as you can see. And then we're gonna keep going. And then the ceiling is just right there. Here you can see some new growth right here, this long one, and in between this long one. You can see a little baby shoot. Don't mind all the dog toys, but and it has, I don't know what this is called, I guess the stalk. There are 2 of them. And hopefully the bottom one will start growing a little bit wider with another stalk. But it does it leans because it's just growing from, this main one actually. So the second one. So hopefully this one starts to catch up so it evens out, but